Welcome to the Afro Anime Initiative. It's the month of October. It's time to talk some black horror. See, now we had a budget. It'll be like a Rip of the Thriller theme right here with some African drums behind it, like like something like that. We broke, but cool. Hi, I'm your host Darren Bradley, along with,
Paulina Guerriere.
and today we're going to be talking about black horror films, what they mean to us, kind of like what is black horror in Afrofuturism, and you know what? We're just gonna have some fun because that's what It's just fun to be scared.
Oh, it is. It really is. Like, I could tell you off the bat, I've been a horror fan since I was maybe 10 years old. I didn't understand it at first, but I guess I was just like, give me all that adrenaline and paranoia. I used to tell my friends that I need to watch something that will get me paranoid for at least a month. That's true horror to me. And now that I am an adult and I'm looking at all the scary stuff that's happening to black people around the world, it's like I'm paranoid for the rest of my life. Thanks. Um,
True, true, true.
Paranoid and scarred for life. Okay, but horror itself is such a cool genre to explore because it just explores the dark side and the unknown about human interaction and just humanity, and not just humanity but what's beyond what science cannot explain, mysticism and voodoo. And even though I don't want to lob voodoo into the horror thing, it's just stereotypes and all that stuff. But you guys get the picture. It's just, for me, horror is just such a fun thing to explore. It's just a fun thing to really just get into, things that people are afraid to get into. People are like, no, would avoid and wouldn't even touch with like a 100-foot pole. I'm like right up in it because it's just it's just the just dark stuff. I love it. So,
Yeah, and I just like scaring people. No, that's what I like horror. I just like scaring the
you
hell
like
out of people.
scaring people. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's funny. Oh, it's funny to see people's reactions to really scary stuff, even though I jump at everything too because I'm just a jumpy person. That's me. And it's something my father will never understand. He's like, "Why are you into this stuff?" Because he's from Haiti. He's seen some scary stuff in his entire
Mhm.
lifetime firsthand. So he's like, "Why are you into this?" And I'm like, "Because I am. Duh. It's amazing." So right now, we about to talk about our favorite movies. Well, not favorite, but the ones that we're most familiar with. Want to get into it?
Let's go.
All right. So the first one on our list is a very, very classic one called Candyman. Came out in 1992, and it's pretty much about an urban legend that took place in the Cabrini Green housing projects. No longer here in Chicago. Torn down how long ago? I don't remember.
Just a couple of years now.
Yeah,
Hasn't really been that long.
yeah, and so it's it's really really creepy. Like for me, the first time I saw it was maybe a good 5, 6 years ago. Didn't get a chance to watch it when I was much younger because I wasn't really aware of that stuff. Plus, a sheltered child. Um, but when I finally did get a chance to watch it, it was just one of those stories that just really sinks into your skin. It hangs on to you, and especially if you know what Caprini Green was all about, it's even scarier than people give it credit for. What about you, Darren? What was your take on the first time you saw that movie?
First time I saw that movie, I think I saw it when it was first put on television. Of course, super hard edited, but
Mm-hmm.
it still had the elements and stuff. And I think it made it worse the edits because it cut a lot of things out.
Mm.
But the thing that make I remember this the most about that movie is not the horror part,
Mm-hmm.
it's how he died.
Yeah.
Because when he told about how he died, those are the stories I hear about how they used to execute black people during the Jim Crow era
Mm-hmm.
or in the Old West, tie them down to a train track, let them get run over because we weren't nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So killing black people was none. That was the part that stuck with me the most. That part always stuck with me the most. And then like to hear stories like from elders, and then like read history, it's kind of like, oh yeah, so they did that for real. That's not mythology.
Nope. That was.
And that's where that's the scariest part of Candyman to me is the execution. Not even him coming back with the bees and mutilating people. It's like no, in real life that happens to black people. Like oh crap.
Yeah. That's the thing that really struck me because, again, looking at Caprini Green and all the just the scary shit that happened to just not only the adults but the kids too. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking at how decrepit the housing was. You have your leading character, I believe her name was like, oh, I forgot the name of the student. Anyways, she goes exploring, and you just see the conditions that these people live in. Certain areas that were boarded off. You have
Yeah.
graffiti works. You have graffiti works in which people, of the Candyman, and it's just all the more creepy and real and sad, really, because
Mm-hmm.
you have kids. I think I'm not mistake me if I'm wrong. Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that there was a part where that they were talking about like children were getting sick from eating candy
I'm eating
from,
candy.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that
And
part.
we have stuff about that,
Hmm.
dumb asses poisoning Halloween candy in
Yes.
Chicago. Like, so
Yeah.
it was and I think that's the thing, especially when it comes to black horror.
Hmm.
Black horror is so based in reality.
It is. It is because it is because actually there was a oh man, I have to now I regret not pulling up the name, but there's a documentary actually that talked about this, not just black horror, but it was just talking about how mythology or folk tales or urban legends were based on stuff that happened in real life, and sometimes urban myths inspire real life events. Sometimes they feed off each other, and it's so fascinating to look at. And I will put it in the description. Sorry, I could not remember for the life of me the name of the documentary, but they mentioned Candyman. They mentioned how during that time there was a scare of, I think that there was a boy who ate candy and he
Hey,
died.
candy.
Yeah,
I
and it
remember.
was
I think
laced
it
with
was caramel
cyanide.
candy. It was
Hmm.
caramel candy, I believe.
No, it was a pixie stick, I think.
Sure, I thought it was caramel. I don't remember. I was young at the time,
Right.
but I remember it happening. Like,
Hmm.
again, it was one of those. You always have those things. Hey, let your parents check your candy and all the other
Hmm.
stuff. But that year, people actually checked the candy. Like,
Yep.
nah, give me this shit. Like,
Hmm.
god damn it, it's real, huh?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Like, you just a kid, just like, you know what? They're not playing this time. It's not just them some stupid shit from school. This is like, no, let me check your candy.
Yes, because this stuff actually happened. So
Yeah.
that's why this movie for me made such an impact, and I really 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 love Tony Todd. He did a great job.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Great actor.
Like,
Yeah.
just till this day, he's just a fantastic actor, and he just
Hmm.
brings his characters to life, especially Candyman, in such a visceral way. That's what
Yeah,
I.
and I heard they're doing a remake, and I hope he's going to be part of it because he's still alive. Like, I hope
Yeah.
he's going to be a part of it. I heard they're going to do a remake.
Yes, I heard
No,
about
yeah.
that.
So I really hope they bring, and I hope they stick to that urban mythology or an urban legend and based off reality because even without the Greens around, it's still some terrible shit in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
So you can, dig deep into the core of people's real fears about, real life.
Mhm.
You know,
Definitely. Like, as long as they don't mess it up, and I'm pretty sure that they would
turn
do a
into
great job with it, honestly.
don't turn into nothing but jump scares.
Oh god, no. No. I would be very upset if it just turned into nothing but jump scares. That just honestly that just takes away from the movie itself, takes away from the story. Cuz it
Yeah.
wasn't jump scares, it was creepy. Like
No, yeah, it was. Yeah, definitely the
like it'll sink
atmosphere.
into your
Hmm.
psyche until it's too late.
Hmm.
So that's the beauty of Candyman. So,
It is.
if y'all are interested, I know if you're willing to travel, there are a couple suburbs actually that are doing a reshowing of Candyman in the theaters. Unfortunately, the city itself is not doing it. I don't know why. But if you guys can, look around, see if there are any other showings in your nearby theater. So, our next film is Get Out, and I'll admit, I still haven't seen it.
So this is when we revoke Paulina's black card,
No, no.
and I take over the podcast and
Mm-mm.
talk about the phenomenalness of Jordan Peele's Get
You
Out.
can't really revoke my blackness or black card when I'm broke
Oh no no
enough
no.
not to be able to see a movie like this when
Oh
they
no no no
put
no
it
no no
out
no.
of
That doesn't
reach.
matter. You black and you should be able to sneak in and get into the theater or
No,
bootleg. Don't play that.
no,
So as we were saying,
no,
we're
I'm not
revoking a black
playing
card
nothing.
on this one because Get Out is the most phenomenal modern day black horror film in creation. And it is purely psychological. The most scariest things that we look at in real life. Again, this is something that runs deep in black horror. It's based on real life. When you see, like, okay, so you think everything's equal, and you just, I'm sorry, this is gonna be spoilers.
Mm.
Everything's equal, and you want to date a white girl. Well, that white girl might murder you. That shit happens in real life, and that's literally the opening of the movie. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And people literally have talked about how just watching the scene where it's a black man going to see a white girl, and off the bat, you just nervous for the rest of the movie. You're just nervous, and it goes down from there. You got another young black man who has a white girlfriend. Everything's nice. He seems very politically correct. She's a little nervous about him meeting the rich white parents. The white parents seem ultra liberal. All their friends love Obama, but there's something wrong with it. It's still just something underlying wrong, and that's the beauty of Get Out. Get Out feeds on all those fears that, like Pauline was saying, as black people, you walk around paranoid with all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The underlyingness of police brutality, the social maneuverability, where yes, you want to be able to be free and to interact with anybody that you just like. If you have an emotional attraction to, no matter their skin color, but you don't know what's going on behind that.
No, and then you find out the hard way that they decided to support somebody who, going on with relevant news, who decided to support someone who sexually assaulted someone else. And most that I've noticed that it was actually white women
Yeah,
who
and it was
also
again,
who also turn around and go, but what should I do to help bring about equality? Well, first of all, stop trying to feed off the scraps of the table you want to be a part of and actually destroy that table so everybody can be equal.
and that's also underlined in the movie Get Out, where there's the
Mm-hmm.
social political stuff. You
Yep.
have the false flag, and you have, oh, we see this as fake news. Nothing's happening to that black man. Are you serious? Like, it's all in that movie, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like I said, it is just one of the most modern day classics, because even in how the main protagonist deals with the situation, even goes back to, slave times, and being um always observant, and something, just trusting your instincts. And okay, I know I said spoilers, and I really don't want to spoil, but this is the thing I have to talk about, which it blows my mind in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
During the penultimate scene where the main protagonist is about to get caught in the trap
Mm-hmm.
of the villains, and he uses cotton to free himself.
Yes, I heard about that, and I'm like,
That is
whoa.
such a poignant visual. Like, yo, we this stuff is what we use to enslave. The invention of the cotton gins what kept us in slavery, because the cotton industry was going out of business. To a black person invented the cotton gins. Like, no, we can keep the industry going. Like, you piece of shit. And and then for the cotton to be the thing that he uses to free himself, it's just such it's immaculate. And whew, sorry, let me calm down.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Breathe.
But it is it's the setup of the movie, where everything in this movie, there's no scary beast, there's no magic, it's life. And then the part that makes it worse, the thing that you hear people talk about conspiracy theories and medical experiments on black people, those are the main villains. The things that we now have historical documents that, yes, white people used us as guinea pigs.
Not only that, it's just still till this day, medically speaking, like recently I was hearing or watching news on how black women are essentially at the bottom of the barrel, especially in the medical field, in terms of being
Mm-hmm.
treated for either any medical problems or pregnancy. They're still at the bottom of the barrel. Because I
Yeah.
even saw a doctor of color, admit that doctors and nurses, mostly doctors, actually don't take black women seriously and really think that, and it's the same thing since the dawn of medical experimentation on black people. It's like they automatically assume that black people have a higher pain tolerance and don't.
I saw that video.
Yeah, like either you have a higher pain tolerance and are less likely to get sick and thus not be taken seriously when it comes to avoidable problems. You have
Mm,
women, you have I like you have women talking about how they had avoidable seizures or strokes because a
yeah.
doctor didn't listen to them when they were complaining about a specific uh, issue that they were
Pain.
having, a
Hmm.
headache, specific type of pain, something. You even have Serena Williams and Beyonce almost die from giving birth because these doctors didn't take them seriously.
Yeah.
So it's
And
like,
again, just rooted in real life.
yeah,
It's just all rooted in real life.
really, it is. So it's like why even bother black people with horror when we live in horror every day?
Yeah. But there's definitely it's just definitely a thread which I saw with the movies, TV shows, which we'll talk about on a later episode. Just that little thread of that the reality for us in this country is way worse than anything that we can imagine. But we also can imagine some stuff. So let's go on to the next movie.
I mean, kind of getting out of that sober, mindset. It's interesting how we cope with it, especially with comedy. Let's say the scary movies 1 and 2 with the Wayne
Hmm.
brothers,
Hmm.
comedic gold. Like, just I think it's just one of those films where anybody and everybody can quote it like the back of their hand, especially like people our age and older. Like, can just
Hmm.
I honestly, I remember first time watching this movie, scary movie. It was just the funniest stuff because it was around the time where there was just a whole bunch of like parody movies that came out too.
Yeah.
Not just
Actually, like it was kind of like them starting that too,
yeah, it was the start because I know
because
after that it
I
was like not
believe,
another teen movie came out.
yeah, because Scream was a like a huge box office success.
Yes,
Like
yes.
that stuff made money.
That Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I know after that there was like a whole bunch of other ones, like Not Another Teen Movie, which was another one of my favorites. It's so stupid.
Hmm.
Um, but Scary Movie itself, like number one, there's just like a lot of pop culture references that they just make fun of. I know that they made fun of The Sixth Sense. I know that they made fun of Baywatch. Literally, in the beginning of the movie, you have a character running away from the slasher through a field with um, what are they called? Sprinklers,
Hmm.
half naked in her lingerie, like she was running up across on the beach in Baywatch. Like it was like,
The actress was from Baywatch, by the way. That was made even funny.
yes, it was Electra, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes, Carmen Electra. Um, exactly that, and then you had the Wayne brothers. Lord help me with those two.
And the thing is, it's the and it's making fun of the situation.
Hmm.
Like, oh, y'all scared of this? Ooh, we got to worry about cops. And
Yes.
and it's like making fun of, like, this is what white people are afraid of.
Hmm.
You're afraid of the scary masked men. We have to be afraid of the people that are supposedly policing our neighborhoods.
Hmm.
So it's dealing with those type of tragedies through comedy and just laughing at other people's fears.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
that's how we cope with that stuff. Because what you got scary movie,
Hmm.
haunted house. They did haunted house, which was more of a break on paranormal activity.
Yes.
And like y'all scared of stuff when you can't see. We got to be scared of people we see every
Every
day,
day,
because they
exactly.
just might randomly call the cops on us. We get killed. And it's
Right,
like
and
we
it's
got to worry about our priest,
right.
stealing our shit
Oh
every
man.
day.
And,
Like it's those things. And scary movie and definitely haunted house. All well, another Wayne's Brothers property, by the way,
mhm.
that just illustrate like that's the way we deal with other people's horror. Not saying that they don't have the right to be afraid of things, like, but y'all scared of stuff that y'all making up. We gotta deal with the shit that's real, like real.
Yeah, real, actual real. And the another thing that I love about Scary Movie that just makes fun of the stupid choices that white people make in horror films.
Mm-hmm.
Hard. And you have like this one character, Cindy Campbell, I think played by Anna Faris. Oh my gosh,
Mm-hmm.
just she was so stupid. just
Yeah, and
so stupid in all the choices she's been making. And it's like, why? but it makes a good point, because after seeing that, years later, seeing like a whole bunch of other movies, same thing. You have a group of teenagers going out to either have fun or explore some haunted ground. Um, you have the white person doing something stupid they know they're not supposed to do, and they do it anyway,
Do it anyway.
and get everybody else in trouble. Always have the
Mm-hmm.
black person dying first.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not caring about anybody else but themselves to prove that ghosts aren't real, and then guess what? Everybody dies because of them.
Everybody's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that definitely makes fun of that. So
And
it's
also the great
mm,
and in scary movie is definitely shows the trope of how the white girl, the scariest one, the one that probably helped start or cause all the stuff, is the
mm,
one that always
is the one that always what?
survives
Yes. Oh yeah, because of course, somehow, some way, she survives.
somehow. Yeah.
But either way, it's one of those it's just one of those things where a lot of people now, well, a whole other generation is just familiar with a lot of pop culture references. But honestly, like, we were actually just talking about this before we recorded this, about, specific, like that Budweiser commercial I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's also like people are not realizing that it's a parody off of that. It's a parody off of something that came before the movie, or at the same time, sort of. So
Which again, it's a testament to the Wayne's writing it. Like, yeah, we can also make fun of this stuff, but we gotta add in some stuff that just makes us laugh. And let's be honest, that stupid West Side just made people laugh, so just put it in the movie.
right, there you go. And it was literally a whole, how many minutes was it in the movie? Like a 5 minute sequence.
5 minutes easily.
Five whole
And then I
minutes.
and then I think they brought it back in later movies that, well, the ones that they didn't write, they brought it back. It's like, yeah, okay, thank you, but we was cool with that, and they kept it going.
Wow. But yeah, that's scary movies 1 and 2 are just hidden gems. Uh, just honestly, if you haven't seen it or don't remember much of it, go and watch it again. Laugh at it, quote it. I know I can quote it like back and forth. And let's see. Haunted House again was another one. I didn't get a chance to see it all the way though. That's my issue. But I have seen Paranormal Activity, but I can yeah, easily made fun of.
Oh yeah,
Easily.
and
Ugh.
this again, it's another well written movie, and it blends in reality with the scary stuff, like when the ghost kind of appears in the haunted house, and there's a scene where he invites his gangster cousins come over.
Oh Lord.
So they come over, the ghost does stuff, they shoot the house, nothing happens, they run out. Like, okay, we can't kill it, we out. Why are we staying? But in other stuff, white people are like, oh, we're gonna stay. Like, why?
Right.
You just saw that you can't kill the thing. Why are
Exactly.
you here?
It's
Leave.
like, no, but it's like an actual like Paranormal Activity. You have the boyfriend or the fiance, whatever, the boyfriend and his girlfriend. They live together. She's had this entity follow her since she was a kid. But thing is, it was kind of her fault. She didn't tell him about it before they got into the
Mm-hmm.
relationship, and then weird stuff happens, and then the boyfriend's like, okay, well, um the girlfriend wants to hire a medium to tell her, okay, what can she do to either get rid of it or at least, tell it to go away for a bit. And the boyfriend doesn't take it seriously. He's constantly doing stuff to make the activity worse, and the girlfriend
Mm-hmm.
is like, I honestly saw her like close to strangling this guy, and I'm just like, why are white men like this?
She should have
Why?
did it, because if she did it, it probably would have satisfied the spirit, and they would have became best friends. But
Yeah,
she was a punk.
yeah. You're right. Shoot. Like the whole
She was a
time,
punk.
I wanted to like strangle the guy. Like he even had the audacity to bring in a Ouija board. Like, no. No. She had a friend that was like, dude, don't do that. Like, it doesn't matter if you
Yeah,
believe in that stuff or not, just don't do that. That can provoke it. Did he listen?
yeah.
Of course not.
I just like how black parody movies, like, that's the first thing they break. Like, hey, how about we don't antagonize the thing that's trying to kill us?
Right. Exactly.
Hmm.
You
Like,
see
let's not do that.
Right, you see proof of this activity. Yes, the cup fell from the top of the counter without anybody being near it. Okay, that's something is in this house. Don't provoke it. Please don't provoke it. You don't believe that it's Okay, sure, it's the draft from the closed door in this brand new house. Sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
oh man.
Like I said, that scene from Haunted House. Like, go back and watch on that. They come in, they shoot, it don't die. They leave.
They
Like, okay,
out.
we out.
Like
Peace,
nope.
bro. Let's end this.
Oh my god. God, I remember that scene.
Love
It was
it.
so stupid. I loved it. That's the beauty of it. See, that's how we handle. That's
Yeah.
how we handle like
Com-
comedy.
Common sense horror.
Yeah,
Common sense horror and comedy.
pretty
Like, yeah,
much.
let's not do the thing that's gonna get us killed. Like talk to cops. But anyway, but yeah. What's next up on the list?
Next up on the list is Vampire in Brooklyn. Now, it's just one of those things where I really enjoy seeing, even though it was like, God, it was a million years ago. But it's with my favorite actors, Eddie Murphy and Angela Bassett. I love those two so much. But it's one of those movies where I really enjoy the vampire Dracula lore. So it kind of
Hmm.
brings it back with a twist where you have a character who's, I think, a private investigator or a detective, and the entity or the vampire in this case is from the Caribbean, which is interesting. It brings on a lot of parallels for me, at least, with the movie Blacula, which is a blaxploitation film that came out in '72, I believe,
Hmm.
and it just again brings on the Dracula mythos to a black lens. You always see like just again it takes place in Europe. You know, chaos happens because of this chaotic demonic being coming into existence chasing after the pure white girl. um but in this case you have something, I don't want to say completely opposite, but it's pretty much with black people with a twist in New York. What do you remember,
Yeah.
like what do you remember from Vampire Brooklyn? Because I know it was also like a comedy
It
somewhat.
it is to me. It's mostly like, okay, we gonna take this thing, this concept again, an old, like you said, an old European concept. Taylor, blah blah. I read a history book, and it's like, no, let's make it cool because it really wasn't cool anymore when this started coming out.
Hmm.
Because people understand, like, most European horror based in the macabre. The macabre was cool though.
Hmm.
There was something interesting. Oh, like, ooh, this is tantalizing. But it got to a point where, no, this is dumb. But you get to Blacula and Vampire and Brooklyn, like, no, let's make it cool. Like the vampire dressed up like a pimp, but it's the regular vampire clothes. You can't tell the difference.
No, you
It's
can't.
like, huh?
No,
Like what?
no, no.
And the
That's what's so
vampires
great about
after
it.
and the vampires after love is like, oh, I'm gonna suck your blood because I'm evil. Like, nah, I'm trying to find somebody to settle down with for eternity. Like, it's it's stuff like that, and it's just like, and it's doing that stuff through the black lens. It's just like, yeah, our monsters would be like that. Our monsters would probably be cool. They're like, yeah, they cool. They just trying to exist like everything else, but yeah, also kill you.
Yeah,
It's
so
like
they can
that's what
survive.
our monsters are.
Yeah.
And it was that, and it was like, it was just those things, like taking that concept, that old European concept, which does actually, there are of course African spirits that suck blood, like in folklore and stuff, but taking the European concept of that and just making it cool. Like, no, this is a vampire, live eternally, seen everything, but in the day, I'm just looking for love. I just want to be with somebody that understands me and doesn't mind me
Hmm.
killing people.
And the
It's
fun
like,
thing
that's
about it,
all it
and the
is.
fun thing about it is it was directed by Wes Craven. It's Wes Craven's
Yeah.
Vampire in Brooklyn. And that just for me, it's like he's just really cool. He likes horror. He
I
doesn't
think,
care.
yeah, Wes Craven just understands horror. And it's like, yo, the things that we fear compared to real life, because the fear of being alone forever is way worse than fight a demon.
Yeah.
Like, it's those things, like, and again, so that it's just something that's, again, so rooted in real life, just those itty singular concepts that get more highlighted, I believe. Well, from my opinion, in my opinion, get more highlighted with black horror. The real life fears over, imaginary things.
Hmm. And it's just, I just no, now I'm gonna watch it. Now I'm gonna look for it. Nope, it's on Amazon Prime. I'm gonna watch it.
Nice.
Yes. So We'll get back to Blacula. It actually falls under the blaxploitation kind of umbrella. So we'll go a little bit more into it in a little bit. But the next one I really want to talk about is Blade.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, this is my thing about Blade.
Mhm.
Blade as a comic book property is cool. Blade as a horror comic is cool. Blade as a horror movie, not so much, because the most scary thing about Blade to me is a young black woman getting attacked by some random white dude and having a monster for a baby. That's the scariest part of that movie. After that's just action.
Yeah.
But the scariest part is shit we got to worry about our women running around getting attacked and raped by. It's like, scariest part.
Yeah.
And then turn out the baby turns out to be a monster. Wonder why.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was just seeing a black vampire in action was just that was the only appealing thing to me about that movie. Honestly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not a horror movie. It's just the opening concept of it is terrifying. But everything else, like, oh, it's action. Go kick ass, Wesley.
Hmm.
That's it. After that, like after that,
I think it was because the amount of violence in that movie is what they considered it to be horror.
so
More,
good.
more gore-ish, but it was just violent, which was great, mind you.
Yeah,
I
it
was.
was an action movie.
Hmm.
It was like this is again like I'm a comic book geek from the beginning.
Hmm.
People forget that even though it's in a book, a four color book,
Hmm.
there's action in comics. In other comic book movies, what they try to do, it's just where's the fun? Where's the fight? Where's the Blade from the jump off the bat? First scene, cutting everybody up.
Yep.
It's a fight, and again, Wesley Snipes. He loves martial arts.
Hmm.
It is choreographed beautifully,
Yes.
and it's just like this is cool. But like I said, literally the horror aspect is just the creation of him. That's it. Everything else is just fun.
Yeah.
But the horror aspect is because again, we have to worry about that in real life. Black women on the street just getting randomly attacked by white men.
Hmm. Pretty much. The thing I appreciate the most, and this is just me, is just Wesley Snipes. Some like really really dark, a black man as a vampire in this movie. Like
Mm.
that to me aesthetically, that's just some beautiful stuff right there.
Mm.
Like yes, we need more of this.
Oh
Not
no, definitely.
just so much more. Like I'm tired of the lighter, fair skinned. No, 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 no. Give me my
And if you
dark, actually black vampires. Okay.
and I'm glad that they kind of changed it up for the movie. But if you go back and read the Blade is exploitation.
Yeah.
Got an afro, talk jive,
Oh, yeah.
say turkey all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, it is. Oh yeah.
Like he's straight up black exploitation, but
Mhm.
it's still like, but he's still the hero. He's
Mhm.
still him, and he's coming from a horrible situation. Like again, his mother
Mhm.
attacked by a vampire, which happens to be a white vampire, and he used that fuel, that anger, to be like, nah, we finna do something about it.
Right.
We're like, no, but I'm serious, like we're going to do something about it because that's something that I think that a lot of black people struggle with. Is like, what can we do about the shit we live under all the time?
Mhm.
But Blade's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go kill him. Now I'm not saying that's what we should do in real life, but that's what his answer was. Like, oh, a vampire created me, I'm gonna go start killing vampires, especially the ones that because they assaulted my mother. Like his whole motivation for becoming a hunter is to find the one that attacked his.
Mhm. Yeah. And under the
Again,
what?
rooted in real life, black people problem.
Black people problems, exactly. Yeah. And under that same line of black. Well, I don't want to say vampires, more like demons. We have Spawn, which is based off the comics, an anti-hero, I believe, and the movie. Yeah, I know. Hold on. I know it starred Michael J. White in the title role.
Michael J. is the best.
Yes, he is. I didn't realize how long he's been in the industry though. It just
And he's looked the same the entire 40
yes,
years.
that's why I'm like, hold on, hold on, he's not new to this.
He aged a day. This
Nope.
dude looking like this, he was 12.
Nope.
Like, what the hell, man?
Black really does not crack, honestly.
Mm-mm.
But what was with the what's going on with Spawn?
I used to like Spawn.
Mhm.
Again, as a comic book guy, it was a black character front and center. But as I got older, I'm like, this ain't got nothing to do with black. This is like it honestly is a white male power fantasy.
Hmm.
Spawn is a black person, is a terrible person.
Yeah.
He's a fucking assassin, a murderer. He dies, goes to hell, agrees to join Hell's army. Why, black man? Comes back, and when he's in human form, he's a white dude.
Oh yeah.
As a kid, I didn't get that shit. But I got older, I'm like, wait, like what?
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Yeah.
Like even if he was a bad person, as a black person, he come back from the dead and he can't be still black. It's
That's what
and it's
confused
so
me. That's what really confused me. Because didn't he have a
yeah, it's
daughter?
just yeah. No, it was his wife's daughter by his best friend.
Ah, okay, okay.
Again, showing that he was impotent.
Hmm.
It's like all this shit. It's like what the fuck.
Yeah.
But as a kid, I loved it because it was like a prominent black superhero. This before Marvel started making Black Panther comic books on a regular basis. Like Spawn was coming out every month.
It was. Yes.
But as I grew up and started, and I'm like, no, this is no,
I remember the first time I
no, no,
saw
no,
the movie
no.
myself, I was confused about that immediately. I'm like, wait, hold on.
Mm.
Wait, why? What happened to the black? Like, I was upset actually. I was like, what happened to the black guy? Why is he white? He's ugly. Ew.
Yeah, and
Ew.
the messed up part is, fantastic animated series.
Yes. Oh
Like it's
yeah.
like they cartoons
Oh
the
man.
bar.
Yes. But the movie though, man.
Oh, that movie was terrible.
Oy. Oy.
That movie.
It was terrible. But it was an interesting
But
idea though.
but it's so weird. And again, I respect what he's done. He's an entrepreneur to be respected and looked up at. But looking at Spawn, it's like this is white male power fantasy. This ain't got nothing to do with my black blood. This is cool. All right.
Yeah. Pretty
No,
much.
you're right. But the messed up part is Spawn
Hmm.
will probably still go down as one of the most consistent black characters in. And it's like, come on, man. And we can. I know we can do better. That's why we're working very hard. Plug. Keep following the show. Subscribe. Like. Because we will be doing a Black Comics episode. So stay tuned for that.
No, definitely.
But yeah, screw Spawn. All right, what's next?
Bones. Now I'm not talking about that forensic science bullshit show. I hate so much with
What?
the
David
passion of a
Boreanaz is
thousand.
God.
He's okay. I just don't like the title character at all. We're not talking about that. It's again leading into blaxploitation films though. Bones, it came out in 2001. It starred Snoop Dogg and Pam Grier, I believe. Yes,
Yeah, she's in it.
yes, Pam Grier and Michael T. Weiss.
Mm-hmm.
We got a few people that are recognizable in this movie, and it's a it was directed by Ernest Dickerson, and it was like a murdered gangster who kind of rises from the grave and avenges his death against the people who betrayed him back in the day. Because the story is that he was like this he was a gangster pimp slash pimp and who
Mm-hmm.
kind of oversaw his neighborhood though back in like the 70s. And the thing is, it was prosperous. People were actually able to provide for themselves, and he made sure that the neighborhood was, thriving. And he was a respected
Yeah.
member. But of course, people in his own circle, um, as well as a corrupt cop, I think, yes,
Mm-hmm.
killed him, betrayed him, and shot him down. And because of that, years later, same neighborhood but decrepit, just broken
One
down,
down.
run
Yeah.
down, people barely surviving, people living for themselves, and he kind of comes back from that. I forgot how. I saw this movie so long ago. I forgot how he came back or who brought him back. Somebody brought him back
Who
by
brought him back
accident.
in?
I think it was usually by accident these people like these type of characters are brought back. I completely forgot how though. Ugh.
Yeah, I think it was by accident. It's been a while since I watched Bone. The thing I remember about Bone is mostly just the beautiful cinematography.
Yes.
It looked good.
It was like if you like film buffs are really like particular about this stuff, imagine Italian horror. Like it was really colorful
Mm-hmm.
at the right times. So, and I
Mm-hmm.
immediately picked that up the first time I saw it, and making comparison to other films that I saw with a lot of like really really good cinematography, okay plots, but really good cinematography. And for me, it was a really like again it was kind of creepy because I saw it like late at night and like BET was showing like a constant like marathon of it one October many years ago. And so like I remember watching it at like midnight, 1 in the morning when I was supposed to be asleep, and it creeped me out. But it was fun
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he kind of got his revenge.
Yeah,
I was.
and like I said, it's the black revenge story
Mhm.
again, real life. It's the I don't want to say the downfall of black neighborhoods, but that vicious cycle where we get our own, then the people inside with help from people outside, of course, destroy it, thinking they're doing better, and then and like again, rooted in real life of the black experience in America,
Yeah,
and it was just a really well shot film. Like I said, I personally it was not one of my favorites, but I love the way it looked. It just looked really good.
it did. And Snoop actually did look really creepy as an undead pimp.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he fit the role pretty nicely.
He did.
Although the movie didn't do so hot, but still, I liked it.
Yeah.
All right,
All
but
right, what's next up?
okay, so since this falls under the blaxploitation umbrella, there are a few others. There's the Blacula I mentioned, came out I believe in '72, and then there was Blackenstein.
Mm.
Oh my lord! And then there, oh god, I hate this one. I don't want to hate. I don't want to say I hate it, but it's like why Black Devil Doll from Hell? Like really, really, like, and the doll itself just looked so bad. It was like I can't like y'all. We were supposed to one up our white counterparts, not let them. Like Chucky was creepy in its own
Terrible.
way, but this doll was
Yeah.
just no. Like you can't even like. Okay, for me though, in its own terribleness, it was scary because it was terrible
Mm-hmm.
and it looked creepy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like they didn't even make the effort. Mind you, this was in the
Mm-hmm.
'70s, so um,
It's like just get this money out here, put black on it, and black people come watch it.
right,
Like,
exactly,
yeah.
yeah. And but the interesting thing that I like about these doll films, especially like Black Devil Doll from Hell, I'm gonna start saying that from now on. Just say the whole thing. Um,
The whole title, Black Devil
Still
Dog
from
from
Hell,
Hell. Say the whole
right?
thing.
Just the whole thing. It's such a
Mm-hmm.
mouthful. It actually reminded me of an actual doll down in Key West, Florida, named Robert or Bobby, and basically he belonged to like this little kid, who I guess just a normal kid, but there was something wrong with the doll, and apparently he was where he was in the family house in the boys' room was in the attic or something like that, and people in the house would always hear like footsteps at odd hours of the night. The child would always be like, "Oh, Robert told me to do this terrible thing," and it's like, "What?" And when nobody's home, people who would walk by the house would see like a little face at the window, like looking out, looking right at them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this is really, really creepy. Right now he's in a museum, kind of in
Mm-hmm.
a like a glass casing. And what's really interesting is that if you look at him a certain way, like if you're at a certain angle and you're looking at him, you would see different expressions on his face, even though it was one of those like really old dolls with like no expressions on their faces, just button eyes and like a yarn mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It like you look at him in a certain way, it's like, okay, he looks evil in that. He looks like he's smiling in this angle, like, but he looks evil, and people are just trying to see if he's actually real, like an actual demon doll. Like nobody knows. He's just creepy. So that's what it kind of reminded me of. So Blackenstein is just I feel like it's just a black version of Black Frankenstein, just really bad.
Yeah.
Oh my lord! But I mean, these films are fun to look at to watch because it's a part of our history.
Yeah, and again, and some of the stuff is just fun. This is fun to see what we were thinking about back in the days. Because again, most likely pimps were involved,
Yep.
but it's just stuff like that. Just to see that what it was because it's so weird because black exploitation turned pimps into heroes when they're not,
Yeah.
but they didn't turn monsters into heroes, even though the monsters had better backstories than the pimps.
They did.
But just stuff like that you get to delve into. You just gotta see what we were thinking, and yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, let's move on from that. 'Cause I don't want to know think about that no more.
Oh, well, okay.
It's bad.
All right. Because I was gonna mention Blacula like real quick, how it's different from Vampire in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, go ahead.
like just the premise. It still takes place in like no. Wait, I think that it eventually goes to New York. Yeah. But it's
Yeah,
like
it
it
goes
was
to New
like
York.
a
Yeah.
like an African prince traveling to Europe though, and he gets
Mm-hmm.
attacked by
Big.
Dracula on the way,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just I'm like okay how, but okay.
Like how you start off so pro black and then let a white man attack him and turn it. Like, come on. Like,
He was
come
doing so
on.
well. Like why?
Oh.
That's the funny thing about blaxploitation films. They don't make sense, but at the same time they kind of do. So, which is why we're moving on
Mm-hmm.
to something a little bit more horrific. God, I hate this movie. I never saw it in its entirety, thank God. But I just every time. Birth of a Nation, 1915, first black horror film ever written, ever produced, and it was actually amongst the first. My film buff nerd over here. It was actually among the first silent films, full length silent films. It was like 2 hours long or three, I don't remember. But it was directed by, give context background, D.W. Griffith, who, if you met right now, you'd want to throw into a vat of acid. Um, just the movie itself, like the
Let's cut to the
cinematography.
chase. It
Shut
is the
up.
first black horror
Oh
film.
no,
No,
that's
we
I
cut
already
to
said
the
that.
chase.
Yeah, I know.
It is the
First black
first
horror film.
black horror
It
film.
is.
It is literally the building of the system and the glorification of the system that murders us from slavery to this very bloody day.
Hmm. Oh yeah, and just like how you see in the news, how whenever a black person's murdered, the black person who's dead is still painted as a criminal. Like, well, they did all these things in their past, even though one of the things could be just getting marijuana from a friend, and that's it. And they're dead.
False
False
accusations against a white
accusations. Oh
woman.
yeah, definitely. Till this day, you see that definitely in Birth of a Nation, painting black people as the evil, kind of like the horror films that you see of like Wolfman and Frankenstein and Dracula.
Yeah.
They're the monsters, and the real heroes are the American white soldiers saving the white damsel flower in distress from the scary black guy who ironically is a white man in blackface.
Blackface. Yeah. Again, the erasure of black people in a movie about black people. Another fear we got to deal with. It's like, man,
Interestingly enough, though, there actually were black people in the movie, but again, they were either like extras or
yeah, they're
villains.
purely
Yeah,
background.
purely
Yeah,
background.
they're
But
purely background.
to actually
Even
have
no, even the black villains were background villains.
yeah,
The main black villain was a white dude in
in
blackface.
blackface, yeah.
It's yeah, like when I talked about the modern day psychological horror of Get Out,
Hmm.
this is the beginning of
It
that.
is.
This is the original, the OG,
Hmm.
the founding
The
father.
founding father of
Is
black
the
horror movies.
psychological destruction of us, and this is the first black horror movie, Birth of a Nation. And the thing that makes it worse, again, the realism, because this is life. This is what actually happened.
Hmm.
The creation of the Ku Klux Klan,
Oh man.
the backing of so-called nice white people, the fucking president of the United States screened us in the White House and called it a magnificent achievement.
Yes. Even was it Woodrow Wilson who saw the movie? Was it him? Yeah.
I believe it was
Yeah, it
Woodrow.
was Woodrow.
Yeah.
They did a screening at the White House, and he loved it. And it's like, well, that explains it. Well,
Loved it.
God. And it's like, well,
And
it's
it's like,
not surprising considering just how horrifically racist he was.
yeah, but this is like the beginning of our cinema being rooted in realism where we can't really break out into the imagination, where we can't free ourselves from the scariness of our reality, where we can just create stuff to be afraid of. Because I think that's what Afrofuturism is about. It's like we need to break away from, like, there is a reality where black Africans, brown people exist in the future. And we have things that we are afraid of that come from our. It's not just, life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are things we're afraid of. Like, one of my favorite Tales from the Hood. which is a combination of retellings of African, or like little pygmy dolls running around and killing people because they just desecrated a grave site, or
Mm.
the ghost of a wrong spirit because somebody robbed them,
Mm.
or just a tale of like, yo, you supposed to do better, but instead you betrayed your brother. Now your brother come back as an evil spirit, and
Pretty much a
like
cautionary tale, really.
cautionary tales. But those are our folklores.
Hmm.
Those are our stories that we don't get to express enough because we got to deal with real life.
Yeah. But interestingly enough, the things that we deal with in real life become our folklore.
Yes, like again, Candyman.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Those things become our folklore,
Hmm.
and we keep reinventing and recreating those aspects of us to show that we have things that we're afraid of out there, natural and spirituality. It's not just we have to worry about, slavery and cops and a corrupt justice system.
Yep.
We have the ability to do those things, to create those things, and I think that's what we're starting to see
Hmm.
when we start to get in more Afrofuturism and in television and in art again. Future episodes coming.
It.
Subscribe, like, and we'll be talking about those things. But like with Birth of a Nation, again, I believe it is the first Black horror film. It sets the standard for the things that we legit have to be afraid of.
And with that, thank you for listening to our ramblings and our excited rambles of black horror movies, just horror in general, really, and just commentary, making connections between real life and what we should actually be afraid of, and what we should just brush off as that's just nothing. Really, really, white people, why? Why do we associate? Why do we associate ourselves with you? If you want equality, then stop acting stupid and getting us in trouble. Thank you.
Yeah,
Just both with
and
ghosts
for
and with police. Thank you.
yeah, and for more content like this, and for definitely future Black horror for the month of October, just like, comment, subscribe, and follow us on all social medias. All that.
Yeah. So on our
We'll
social
talk
media,
to you guys later.
thank you so much. Take care. Have fun. Scare each other, but don't do stupid stuff. Bye.
Bye.